Welcome to The Explainer. Look, if you're a writer, you know the feeling, right? Your characters are talking, but something is just off. It doesn't feel real. Well, today, we are gonna fix that.
So why does your dialogue sometimes feel, well, fake? We've all been there. You write this great scene, and the conversation just lands with a thud. It sounds so stiff, maybe even robotic. Or, and this is the worst, all your characters just end up sounding exactly like you. It's a super common problem, but don't worry, we're gonna unpack the solution right now.
All right, to get to that solution, we first need to wrap our heads around this one core concept. I like to call it the dialogue paradox. And honestly, if you can get this one idea down, everything else is going to click into place. So, here it is, the big secret. Great dialogue doesn't actually sound like real talking. I mean, think about it. If you recorded a real conversation, it would be a total mess, right? Full of ums and uhs and people talking over each other. Your job as a writer isn't to copy that. It's to create this powerful illusion of reality. It's got to feel spontaneous, even though you've crafted every single word.
Yeah, as the saying goes, the art is to conceal his art. It puts it perfectly. All that planning and structuring and polishing you're doing, it needs to be totally invisible to the reader. The goal is to make all that hard work look absolutely effortless.
Okay, so how do we actually build this illusion? Well, it's not by just staring at a blank page and hoping for the best. Nope, you need a plan. Let's break down a really simple 3-step blueprint for crafting conversations that actually have a purpose.
This process is seriously a game changer. Step 1, brainstorm. Just jot down all the arguments and opinions for each character. Get it all out there. Step 2, arrange. Put those ideas into some kind of logical order so the conversation actually flows. And then, step 3, this is the magic part. Imagine. You have to put yourself inside each character's head to figure out their unique way of speaking. This takes you from just a messy cloud of ideas to a solid structure for your scene, and you haven't even written a single line of dialogue yet.
Okay, let's talk more about that third step, imagining, because it is absolutely crucial. See, great dialogue isn't just about moving the plot forward. It's about revealing who your characters are. It's way less about what is said and so much more about who is saying it. And this is such a perfect example. You've got two students, a bookish one and an athletic one. They're basically saying the same thing. Hey, you should try my hobby. But listen to how they say it. The bookish one says, a little more physical exercise will not interfere with your mental culture. Mental culture? The athletic one says, a little more study will not spoil your physical strength. It's so direct. Their entire personality is just baked right into their word choice. All right, so you've got your blueprint, you've figured out your character's voice. Now it's time for the final polish. These are the little tricks of the trade that make a conversation feel dynamic and, real.
So think of these like pro tips for mimicking the real rhythm of a conversation. You want to keep it brisk and rapid. Don't let one character just go on and on and on. Use interruptions, but sparingly. Add natural-sounding exclamations like, good heavens, or, something a person would actually say. And have characters answer a question with another question. People do that all the time. Let's actually zoom in on one of the most powerful tools here, the interruption.
Okay, check this out. Character A is saying, I am perfectly certain he would never do such a thing. Why, only the other day he told me, and bam! Character B cuts in with, I don't care what he told you. Character A is trying to build a case, to explain, and Character B just shuts it down completely. Doesn't even let them finish the sentence. That is pure, raw dismissal.
And that's why this is so powerful. That single interruption from character B tells us everything. It shows us they're impatient, maybe angry, definitely certain. It injects instant conflict into the scene and raises the emotional stakes, all without having to write, B was angry. The dialogue itself is doing all the heavy lifting.
Which brings us to probably the most crucial point of this whole explainer. You have to remember, dialogue isn't just words on a page. Dialogue is action. That's right, dialogue isn't just talking. It's doing. Every single line a character says should be doing something. They're trying to persuade or attack or defend or confess or maybe even mislead. Every line should either reveal character, push the plot forward, or crank up the tension. And here's a good rule of thumb. If a line of dialogue isn't doing at least one of those things, you should probably cut it.
So, I'm going to leave you with this final thought to chew on. Once you get good at what your characters say out loud, the real next level stuff is mastering what they don't say. The best dialogue, the really juicy stuff, lives in the subtext.
that meaning that's just simmering right below the surface. So the next time you're writing, don't just ask yourself what your characters are saying. Ask yourself, what do they really mean?